All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something that's literally built into your DNA, but has been almost completely forgotten. It's a 300,000-year-old sleep cycle that didn't disappear because of evolution. It was erased by something we use every single day, the light switch. Seriously, think about that. Tonight, when you hit the lights, just pause. Because for 99.9% of human history, that switch, that choice, just wasn't there. When the sun went down, the world plunged into a darkness so complete you literally couldn't see your hand in front of your face. So what on earth did our ancestors do with all that darkness? And the difference is just profound. Our ancestors lived almost half their lives in that total, absolute blackness. For us, darkness isn't the default state of the world anymore. It's a choice we make. We flip a switch, we close the blinds. And that one single change has had a massive, massive impact on our biology. So, what was the first big game changer? Nope, not the light bulb. We're talking way, way before that. We're talking about fire. And fire gave us so much more than just warmth. It completely reshaped what the night even meant to humans. You see, before we controlled fire, nighttime was terrifying. It meant pure danger. Predators that were built for the dark, think leopards, wolves, they had the ultimate advantage. They could see us, we couldn't see them. It's a pretty bad situation. But fire changed everything. It created this amazing little bubble of safety, about a 30-foot circle of light that kept all those lurking threats just beyond the shadows. And here's the kicker. Fire didn't just make us feel safer, it literally gave us the gift of time. By pushing back the very real threat of getting eaten, humans all of a sudden had 2 to 4 extra usable hours every single night. So what did we do with all this amazing new free time?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this. During the day, our conversations were practical, right? About 80% of talk was about work, survival, the essentials. But at night, huddled around that fire, the script totally flipped. An incredible 81% of conversations were suddenly about stories, jokes, singing, and myths. The night, for the first time, became the birthplace of human culture.
But fire didn't just change our evenings. It actually changed how we slept. Now, you probably think that sleeping a solid 8 hours straight is the natural way to do it. It's what we all aim for, right? Well, for most of human history, that just wasn't how it worked. Our ancestors had a totally different rhythm. It was called biphasic sleep. And this isn't some fringe theory. The historian Roger E. Kirch found over 500, that's right, 500, references to it in old diaries, medical books, and literature. This wasn't a weird quirk. It was just how people slept. It wasn't one solid block. And here's how it worked. People would go to bed and have their first sleep for maybe 4 hours, then they'd wake up naturally for an hour or two. This period was called the watch, and it was this time of really calm, quiet wakefulness. You might think about your dreams, maybe quietly chat with your family, or just reflect. And then you'd simply go back to sleep for your second sleep until morning. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, that's a cool historical fact, but we've evolved past that, right? Well, not exactly. It turns out this rhythm isn't just an old habit we dropped. It seems to be hardwired deep inside our biology. So get this. In 1992, a psychiatrist named Thomas Ware ran this incredible experiment. He took a group of volunteers and put them in a room with no artificial light for a month. For the first week, they slept like we do now, in one chunk. But then, their sleep started to fracture. And by week 4, every single one of them, without any prompting, had spontaneously gone back to that ancient biphasic sleep pattern. And this is the most amazing part. During that period in the middle of the night, the watch, their brains were flooded with a hormone called prolactin. This created a state of profound calm, a kind of quiet wakefulness that's been compared to deep meditation. It was a whole different kind of consciousness that, for most of us, has been completely lost to the modern world.
So, the big question is, if this two-sleep system is so natural, so deeply ingrained in our biology, what happened? What destroyed it? Well, the answer is simple, and it's probably glowing in your hand right now.
We conquered the night. It started slowly, with the first street lamps back in the 1600s, but then it went into overdrive with Edison's light bulb in 1879. And today, the blue light from our phones, our TVs, our laptops is actively suppressing melatonin. That's the hormone that tells our brain it's time to sleep. Our biology is constantly being tricked into thinking it's still daytime, forcing our sleep into one single and often pretty anxious block.
So, what does all of this history and science mean for you tonight when you're lying in bed? This is where this whole story becomes incredibly personal. Think about it. When you wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, what does our modern culture immediately tell you? It tells you something is wrong. You have insomnia. It's a medical disorder that you need to fix. But what if it's not a disorder at all? What if you're not broken? What if that's just your body's ancient memory of the watch trying to surface, a biological echo from our deepest past? So the next time you find yourself wide awake in the middle of the night, maybe don't panic. Don't reach for your phone. Just listen for a second. Ask yourself, is this a disorder that needs fixing? Or is this a 300,000-year-old memory just trying to say hello?